All right, so you're new to crypto and you've got one massive question on your mind. Bitcoin or Ethereum? Which one's the one? Today, we're going to break it all down nice and simple. Let's get right into it. This is it, right? This is the question that's on everyone's mind. It's probably why you're even watching this. You see all the buzz, you hear people talking, and you just want to know, which one do I pick? And you know what? It's a fantastic question, but it might just be the wrong way to look at the whole thing. And this right here is the secret to understanding everything. Asking Bitcoin or Ethereum is a lot like asking, should I buy gold or should I buy Apple stock? I mean, they're both super valuable, right? But they do completely different things. One is this timeless store of value, and the other is a cutting-edge tech company. And once you get that difference, everything else just clicks into place.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about the original, the OG Bitcoin. Its entire reason for being, its whole purpose really just boils down to two simple words: digital gold.
That's really it. I mean, Bitcoin isn't trying to be a million different things at once. It has one single mission, and it's built from the ground up to nail that mission perfectly, to be a super reliable place to park your wealth for the long haul. Kind of like how gold has worked for, thousands of years. But it comes with some serious upgrades. This number, this is everything for Bitcoin. It's the secret sauce, absolute predictable scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. That's it, full stop. Think about it. We could, in theory, always find more gold somewhere on Earth, but we can never make more Bitcoin. It's literally hard-coded into its DNA.
So let's talk about those upgrades. Back in 1933, the US government actually made it illegal for citizens to own gold and took it. Good luck doing that with Bitcoin if you have your own keys. It's pretty much impossible. And have you ever tried to buy a cup of coffee with a tiny shaving from a gold bar? It's ridiculous. Bitcoin, on the other hand, can be split into 100 million little pieces. And get this, you can memorize just 12 simple words, walk across any border in the world, and have $1 billion stored in your head. Just try doing that with a pile of gold bars.
And this just nails the whole philosophy, right? Bitcoin's biggest strength is its simplicity. It's not trying to run a bunch of apps or build some new version of the internet. Nope. It is laser-focused on being the best, most secure form of money we've ever had. One job done perfectly. So, if Bitcoin totally perfected digital money, what's the deal with Ethereum? Well, Ethereum was born when someone looked at Bitcoin and asked a really simple but totally game-changing question.
So get this, back in 2013, this 19-year-old programmer, Vitalik Buterin, saw the genius of Bitcoin but also saw its limits. He thought, okay, this blockchain thing is incredible for keeping track of money, but what if we could use it to run any kind of computer program? Just 2 years later, Ethereum went live, not as a new kind of digital money, but as a decentralized world computer. And the engine that runs this whole world computer is something called a smart contract. The easiest way to think about it is like a super smart vending machine. You just program in the rules, like if someone puts in $1, then give them a soda, and you put it on the Ethereum network. From that point on, it just runs itself, automatically, forever. You don't need a bank or a lawyer or anyone else in the middle to make sure it works. It just does. So here's probably the clearest way to put it. Bitcoin's whole goal is to be the money. Ethereum's goal is to be the global stage where developers can come and build new things that use that money. Okay, so what are people actually building? Well, a huge one is called decentralized finance, or DeFi. And just look at this chart. Right now, your bank is probably paying you, maybe 0.5% on your savings? Meanwhile, DeFi apps built on Ethereum are offering anywhere from 3 to 8%. It's no wonder there's over $50 billion locked up in these things right now. And it's so much more than just finance. I'm sure you've heard of NFTs, right? That's just digital proof of ownership, and it's built on Ethereum. Huge companies like PayPal and Visa, they're using stablecoins that run on Ethereum for payments. And there are thousands of other decentralized apps being built on it. Bitcoin was just never designed to do any of this stuff.
Okay, so now we get the core ideas, right? Digital gold versus the world computer. So let's put them head to head and just look at the hard data.
But before we jump into the numbers, this slide really sums up the whole trade-off. Bitcoin is all about simplicity, which leads to this rock-solid, predictable security. It's established. Ethereum, on the other hand, goes for flexibility, which naturally creates more complexity. It's a platform that is constantly changing and evolving.
So let's check out the spec sheet. For supply, Bitcoin is fixed. That's it.
Ethereum doesn't have a hard cap, but thanks to a recent upgrade, it often removes more coins from circulation than it creates, which actually makes it deflationary. For speed, Bitcoin is slow and steady, like a tank. Ethereum is faster, and it's always getting faster. It all boils down to this. Bitcoin is probably the lower risk play because it's so established, while Ethereum is higher risk but also has that potential for higher reward.
And now for a huge one, energy. You've definitely heard that Bitcoin uses a ton of electricity. And yeah, it does. But check out this chart. In 2022, Ethereum went through this insane upgrade that slashed its energy use by over 99%. That is a massive, massive difference between these two networks today.
So we've gone through the ideas, the tech, the data. Let's bring it all back home. For someone who's just starting out, what's the smart move here?
It really just comes down to what you're trying to do. Are you looking for a place to save for the long term? Something to protect you from inflation? Something simple and secure? Bitcoin was literally built for that. But if you're more interested in getting exposure to a fast-moving tech sector and you're cool with higher risk for potentially higher reward, or you actually want to use things like DeFi or NFTs, well, that's Ethereum's playground.
But here's the thing, you don't actually have to pick just one. A super common strategy, even for the pros, is to just own both. A classic portfolio might look something like this, maybe 60% in the established safety of Bitcoin and 40% in the high growth potential of Ethereum. That way, you've got a nice balanced exposure to the two main pillars of the crypto universe.
And this is so important to remember. They aren't really competitors. They're complementary. They kind of need each other. Bitcoin came first. It was the proof. It showed the world that a decentralized digital asset could actually work and hold value. Then Ethereum came along and showed us that the technology behind it, the blockchain, could be used for so much more than just money.
So, after all this, what's the one big idea you should walk away with? Well, it really comes down to this question. What's the real difference between someone making a smart, informed investment and someone who's just, throwing dice at a casino?
It's this simple. It's understanding that you're not trying to figure out which one is better. You're just choosing the right tool for the right job. Bitcoin is like a hammer. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's perfect for one specific task. Ethereum is like a Swiss Army knife, way more complex, but with almost endless possibilities. The smart move is just knowing which tool you actually need. Thanks for hanging out with us. Next time, we're going to get super practical. We're diving deep into crypto wallets, and we'll explain what is maybe the single most important saying in all of crypto: not your keys, not your coins. You're not going to want to miss it. See you then.